All right, welcome, and thank you for your patience. Our closed session went a little longer, but we had no reportable actions taken in closed session, and so I will welcome everybody to the meeting and start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we gather at Santa Rosa Junior College on the territorial traditional land of the Pomo people in Santa Rosa and the Coast Miwok people in Petaluma, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have stewarded it through the generations. So thank you for coming. And as always, we appreciate your patience. Our board is committed to the continued education and safety of our students, faculty, staff, and community stakeholders. The Sonoma County Public Health Office has issued recommendations for public meetings, and we urge all participants to follow them. This meeting is available in person and remote. So for whether you're in person or remote, please wait to speak until you are called on by the chair. If you are participating remote, you will not be able to see other remote attendees or use the chat function. And as always, the board requests that presenters keep all presentations to the following time limits: 3 minutes for public comments, 5 minutes for monthly updates, and 8 minutes for board presentations, employee of the month, and special presentations. There is an opportunity for public comment at appropriate times. If you'd like to make an in-person public comment, either at the beginning of the meeting or before an agenda item, there are cards available at the back of the room. If you could please fill them out and bring them up. For remote public comment, there was the option to submit comments by email or phone prior to the meeting or during the meeting. If you want to make a public comment remotely, you can raise your hand, the button at the bottom of your screen, or if you're dialing in for the meeting, please use *9 on your phone. So thank you. So moving on, I'm going to ask our first agenda item is approval of the minutes. So I need a motion and a second, please.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed or any abstentions? Okay, thank you. All right, moving forward, we have an employee of the month for September, and I think Mike Roth is going to make the presentation. So welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, I'm Mike Roth. I'm the Director of IT Support Systems and President Battenfield and members of the board, Dr. Chong and fellow members of the college community. It's my privilege right now to introduce our Employee of the Month, Antoine Zaragoza. Over the past couple of years, it's been kind of a challenging time for many of us. Those of us working to provide the technical support for our students, faculty, and staff sometimes struggled to keep up with the need to adapt to this constantly changing environment we've been in. Throughout this time, Antoine has been a key contributor to our efforts to provide support to the college community. If you change your password anytime over the past couple of years, you may have spoken to him. Along with his colleagues in instructional computing, he's responded to hundreds of student calls and emails addressing a wide variety of support issues, many of which were unique to the unusual circumstances. In addition, he's volunteered to assist the IT help desk with the large volume of faculty and staff support requests that arose both from the need for everyone to switch to working remotely and more recently for everyone to come back to campus. Despite the stress and challenges, Antoine has maintained his collegial approach to the job, his ability to stay positive and focus on supporting his coworkers and all of the members of our community has been an inspiration to me and is much appreciated by all of us on the IT support team. Antoine's one of the people that makes SRJC a great place to work. As an example, about a week before he was announced as Employee of the Month, one of his coworkers asked me, "Hey, what's the process to nominate someone for Employee of the Month?" I asked, "Oh, who'd you have in mind?" And of course, it was Antoine. Didn't surprise me at all, but it sure felt good to be able to respond and say, "That's already done." So without additional delay, let me introduce Antoine Saragossa. Okay. Well, I
Thank you.
confess it's been a little while. I can't remember if I'm supposed to give you this stuff now or after you say something. Any remember? Doesn't matter. After is better? All right, you go ahead.
This won't take 5 minutes. I can't tell you all how pleased I've been to be able to work in such an institution that just allows me to have really a great time taking care of people. You know, I've been lucky to choose an occupation where my brain gets to work as fast or faster than I do. And with the graciousness of my wife, who's taught me to not break as much china in the china shop when I come in, to be able to deliver technology in a way that just leaves people in a great place. So I've been able to do that. Somebody asked me the other day about working in different places, and I thought, but here, inclusion is part of the ticket. Diversity is part of the ticket. It's not that this place is trying to include it as rounding out the structure. It is what we bring to the party. So it makes me a better person to deliver being a better person to you guys. And it's been a great journey. And I'm very humbled. Thank you.
All right. I don't go away. We have a couple of things for you, okay? So the first and probably most important thing is the traditional help desk donut.
Excuse me.
And then also, this is a card from the department with some gift certificate in there. Perhaps you want to take another shot at going camping or something and get some camping gear in there.
Thank you.
And of course, we have more importantly, the Employee of the Month plaque.
My goodness.
And we want to get a picture with that, as well as the congratulatory letter and also, gift certificate to the Culinary Cafe, which makes great breakfast pastries. So, you know, you can get some and bring them to work. It'd be fine. And also to SRT, which I'm
very
sure will
cool.
be a very good season this year. So thank you again, Antoine. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And again, well-deserved congratulations and thanks from the entire board. We now have a special presentation, introduction of new regular faculty with Dr. Holcomb.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board, Dr. Chong, college community. I'm pleased to provide an introduction of 34 new tenure track faculty members. They come to us from a variety of personal backgrounds and academic disciplines. Some are former associate faculty members here at the JC. Others are new to the college. Some are new to the region, have relocated to Sonoma County. Some are even new to California. They have impressive academic training, scholarly interests, teaching experience. Some speak multiple languages, among other qualities. But what they all truly have in common is a clear commitment to students, to teaching and learning, academic exploration, intellectual growth, lifelong learning, and equity in higher education. If there are any new faculty members here in person, feel free to stand up when I call your name. I don't see anyone, but I suspect many are tuning in live via Zoom, and I hope that they're enjoying this moment. So without further ado, again, there are 34 new tenure track faculty members. We'll start with in agricultural and natural resources, Pam Wittenberg. In health sciences, ADN instructor, Carrie Bittner. In kinesiology, athletic, and dance, Ali Deal. In counseling, Ankur Kumar. In biological sciences, general biology, Caprice Disbrow. In communication studies and speech, Joshua Hamzahi. Also in comm studies and speech, Gina Stahl-Haven. Health sciences, new ADN instructor, Natalie Berry. In theater arts and fashion, Emily Melville. Social Sciences and Political Science, Azmet Sakiev. English, U.S. Ethnic Literature, Jason Trevino. Public Safety, Fire Technology, we have Linda Collister. Ethnic Studies, Native American Studies, we have Shirley Lori Thomas. She goes by Lori Thomas, right? In Library Information Resources, we have Katrina Ron. In Ethnic Studies, Chicanx and Latinx Studies, Moises Santos. Counseling, we have Jessica or Jessie Paisley. In Business, we have Ryan Wenzel. English, U.S. Ethnic Literature, Erica Tom. In Chemistry, we have Nok Tran. In Philosophy, Sarah Wiley. Computer Studies, our Adobe lead, Stephanie Clark. Engineering, Applied Technology and Construction, Peter Lavelle. In Ethnic Studies, African American Studies, we have Jordan Bell. In World Languages, new French instructor, Elise Petit. In Health Sciences and Associate degree in Nursing, we have Anita McInnes. In Art and Photography, Nick Simcoe. In English, we have Angelica Barraza. Humanities and Religion, we have Rafael Vasquez Guzman. English as a second language, Bentley Kavazi. Ethnic Studies, Asian American Studies, Stephanie Chang. In Ethnic Studies, African American Studies, we have Jason Seals. In Public Safety, Emergency Medical Care, Kathleen O'Connor. And in Health Sciences, the new Pharmacy Tech program, we have Jesus Nieto. Those are our new 34 new tenure track faculty members. Let's give them a round of applause. Let's give them some love. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's exciting to see new and kind of new faculty and not so new that are all here with us. Thank you. All right, next item is public comments. Did we have any cards? Is there anyone here who wishes to make a public comment? And did we have anybody submit emails ahead of time? And is there anybody here? I actually forgot to bring up my Zoom, but is there anybody here for public comment? Oh, we're good. Okay, I am going to close public comment then. Thank you, and we'll move on to monthly updates, which are oral reports from members of the Board of Trustees and the president, starting with the finance report, which is mine. The finance board members who are on the board finance committee met on September 6th, 2022. That was myself, Trustee Martinez and Trustee Fishman in attendance. The only agenda item was a 22-23 budget update. The committee reviewed an update of the 22-23 state budget and went through the budget book. The discussion included the revenue and expense budget assumptions, the 21-22 ending financial information, and the proposed adopted budget for 22-23 for the various funds. We also had updates to the long-range plan and the new provisions for the hold harmless from the state. This is an item on the agenda. There's going to be a presentation to present the budget to the full board for approval today, and for any, of course, any public comment or questions as well. Thank you. Next, I will turn it over to Dr. Chong for college president report.
Thank you, President Battenfeld, and good afternoon, everybody. Well, the fall semester started, and we had planned for 2/3 of our classes being in person and a third remote. The actual, as it turned out at the end of the day, we have about 60% of our classes in person and about 40% remote. I'm happy to and pleased to announce that our decline in enrollment, which has been trending that way for the last few years, has ended for now. We're slightly up in headcount and FTES. I've charged Vice President Holcomb with developing a strategic enrollment management plan, and he is working together with the college constituents in order to do that. He's already working with a work group and deans to institute short-term measures for this semester, and he'll be coming to the board probably early in the spring to present a more comprehensive plan to continue to get us the trend back up. And this is something that's not a SRJC problem. I just returned from Washington, D.C. This past weekend, and it's a national problem. Colleges throughout the nation are unfortunately experiencing declines in enrollment, and particularly in community colleges, and particularly students of color and marginalized groups. So we really have to double up our efforts to get those students back. And I'm confident we can do it under the leadership of Vice President Holcomb. This is also Hispanic Serving Institution Week. And I'm happy to say that it's HSI week. And from our standpoint at SRJC, our HSI Lanziamento program initiative has more than 2,400 students in over 70 HSI designated courses this semester alone. And this intervention has correlated with gains in transfer rates, grade point average, and course completion rates in both math and English for Latinx and low-income students at SRJC. Our HSI STEM initiative, the Avanza Madano program, is off to a strong start, having held summer academies in STEM and health sciences, a new STEM learning community, and they had an evening mixer and open house scheduled for later this week, which all of you will get invitations to. I really want to commend the key leaders and stakeholders on our HSI work, including Laura Larquet, Mosley Mora, Darcy Rosales, Kathy Prince, Robert Holcomb, and members of the HSI steering committee and implementation team. And as they often say in describing this work, Lanziamento, together we launch. So appreciate it for all the HSI folks who have been moving this forward. Finally, I wanted to talk about something that's been brought up in the college community, and what I've been hearing in many of the shared governance meetings that we've been going through is answering that question, what aren't we going to do anymore? And that's something that we are now openly discussing. I've been talking to our cabinet about it and senior leadership. And I want to acknowledge, first of all, how hard it's been for everyone the last 2 years, both remote, in person, how everybody's gone the extra mile in order to get us remote, and now all the work going back to get us back in person. And now we're sort of have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So I want to empathize with the transition and sometimes trauma of returning in person on campus. But we're developing some guiding principles and processes to answer that question, because we know there's less of us and still a lot of work to do. So part of it is, how do we reimagine work processes? Can we go paperless? Can we have a more streamlined shared governance system? Can we do less things that are less core to the mission of the college? How do we innovate? This college is known for innovation, and we need to use our innovative brains to do things differently, to streamline processes, and also decide what we're not going to do anymore. And I'm committed to soliciting the college community's input using a simple, user-friendly survey. We're going to solicit input also from academic affairs, student services and business services, and even the president's office. We're going to analyze suggestions, and we're going to study them in cabinet. And then all those recommendations filter to the president and to the cabinet. And I will be bringing a set of recommendations, hopefully by the end of this semester, to implement in spring of 2023 for the board's review and input. So I really appreciate people speaking to me about it. I get it, and we're going to do something about it. And so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an exciting time in this post-COVID environment where our work lives have changed, and I realize there's a lot of stress out there. So I'm committed to doing whatever I can, and please share your input, your suggestions. They're all good ideas. I can't guarantee we'll implement everything, but you will be heard. Your ideas will be studied, and then we're going to move forward. Okay, so I also presented to the Rotary Club recently in Santa Rosa, and I want to extend my gratitude to the Rotarians who have been very, very staunch supporters of SRJC with scholarships and donations. And tomorrow we will be presenting to the North Bay Leadership Council, which is a membership organization of leading industry partners in Sonoma County, about the value and the importance of all the career education that we do at the college, everything from our firefighter program and public safety, also what we're doing in the health care area in terms of nursing and dental tech and radiology tech and all of the allied healthcare professions we're doing, and also talking about what we're doing with our proposed construction center at Petaluma and how we're going to bolster the workforce there. So there's a lot to be proud of, and there's a lot of work to be done, but let's not work harder, let's work smarter. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have our Measure H bond update with Serafin Fernandez.
Good afternoon, President Badenfeld, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and fellow SRJC community. Today, I'm going to start my presentation with an update on the Lindy Center for STEM Education project. As you can see, the exterior of the building has been fully insulated. The roof is almost complete. The next thing that you'll see going in probably next week is the windows. They'll start installing the windows and then the curtain wall and storefront system. And on the interior, they've completed installing all of the major mechanical and electrical equipment, which will allow them to start closing up the walls as soon as our building is fully insulated. So we're making great progress, and we are on schedule to complete the project by next summer. The foundation, new office building, you're starting to see the views of a final completed product. The exterior wall panels should be completed by tomorrow, and we'll be paving the parking lot this Friday. So we are on schedule to have this project completed in December. At Garcia Hall, we were able to get occupancy for the building just before the semester started. So faculty and staff have moved in and classes are in full session. We did experience a couple of hiccups, but our HVAC and our water systems are fully functional and running. And we are working on the punch list items now. We do have the ribbon cutting ceremony scheduled for Friday, September 23rd at 2 p.m. Everybody's welcome. We hope to see a large crowd there. On your agenda today, you have Resolution 2422, which is change order number 28 for this project. It is for $135,000. $135,689. This change order takes our total change order percentage up to 22.4%. Just a reminder that the majority of the change order work on this project was due to massive amount of demolition that we had to do because of the asbestos abatement and then the rebuilding of those demolished areas, as well as implementing our new security standards. This particular change order, the majority of the money is to provide for that change in hardware that we had to make to accommodate for the security standards. We have one more change order that we're negotiating with the contractor at this point, which is basically just to do with the delays on the project, and that will finalize the change orders on the project. The Towser Gymnasium swing space at Annalee Village. On your agenda, you'll have our recommendation for you to approve the award of contract for Gecko Inc. For $1,047,600. We had 6 bidders on this project, which is very, very competitive. This low bid is higher than our estimated construction cost, but this is just proof that inflation is affecting us and supply chain is affecting us, and we're seeing it through the bids that are coming in. We don't expect these bids or these costs to go down in the near future. So we are recommending that we move forward with this project so that we can start it immediately at the end of this month and have it completed by the end of this year so that we can move the Towser occupants into the swing space and allow us to start construction on the new Towser Gymnasium, which, by the way, we just received comments from DSA, back check comments. So we a month earlier than we expected. So we are anticipating to be able to put the project out to bid a little earlier than our schedule. So us having these individuals out into swing space becomes more critical at this point. Busman IT renovation, this project is, construction is actually starting this week. Have moved all the occupants out to their respective swing space areas. At Schoen Farm, at Portables, all the signage is in, and we received the last batch of furniture that was delivered for the faculty offices this week. Everything is in. You do have resolution 2522 on your agenda to approve today. This is the final change order for this project. It takes our total change order percentage to 15%. This $40,000 is basically just compensation for the delays of the project. The Schoen Farm new greenhouse is complete. We have 2 items on your agenda for you to approve, which are notices of completion. If you may recall, we had 2 separate contracts, one to supply the building and a second contract to install the building. Both are complete, and we're asking that you approve the notice of completion for both contracts. And I finally get to put a slide on the Southwest Center modernization project here up for you. I'm happy to report that we are complete with the procurement of the design build team. Just a quick information to share with you what the scope of the project will include. We will have 2 phases to the project. The first phase, which includes a very important goal to get the site certified with DSA. That will include the relocation of some portables from Santa Rosa that will be used for swing space at the site. This will achieve DSA certification for the site for us by July of 2023. It will also include the installation of a restroom building and develop a student quad on the south side of the campus. The second phase of the project will renovate Heritage Hall and the construction of a new welcome center for the site. It will expand parking and also include a new very large North Student Quad. That phase is scheduled to be completed by July of 2025. The RFQ and RFP were put out to the design build community. We had a really strong response with 5 teams being shortlisted and interviewed by a selection committee last week on September 6th. All 5 teams made great presentations, and the selection committee is selecting and recommending that you approve today the team of Lathrop Construction and H-Kit Architects for a design build contract of $16,026,608. By the way, Lathrop Construction is the construction company that is currently building the STEM, the Lindley Center for STEM Education project. Also, just for your information, the design build contract allows us to enter into the design, but we don't necessarily commit to a construction cost, which it will be a not to exceed cost, guaranteed maximum price at the completion of the design. So we have an opportunity to work on that budget and make sure that we achieve all of the project goals. The next step on the project after you approve this contract is for us to develop and work with a working group that will begin working with this particular design build team on the actual design. Other items that I did not mention for your approval today include a final amendment number 2 to the CAD modernization phase 2 project for the consolidated engineering labs. This is amendment number 2. This is DSA testing and inspection. Change order number 6 for CWS construction for the central plant. This takes our total change orders to 4.2%. Then we have for the student housing building project, also an amendment to the same testing lab to provide testing and inspection for that project. And then we're also asking you to approve the appointment of Dr. Chris Abramson to the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee. We had a resignation on the committee, so we advertised the position. And we had one application submitted. This application was Dr. Abramson. It was reviewed, and we feel that she is qualified to represent the position, and we're recommending that you approve her appointment. And then, of course, the last contract for the Southwest Center Modernization Project. Again, please save the date, and we invite you all to attend our ribbon cutting for the Garcia Hall annexation project. That concludes my report unless you have any questions.
Do we have any questions? Trustee Fishman?
Hi, Seraphin. Thank you. I have a couple questions. You had mentioned that the Towser gym bid came in higher than anticipated. I was wondering what our original budget was for that. It came in, and how much higher was it? I mean,
So our estimate was approximately $750,000.
okay. Oh, okay.
Yes, so it
Came in
it
about
did come in.
3
higher.
more. Okay. And can you go back to the slide on Southwest? Yeah, thank you. So step 4, the working groups, that means focus groups that will include employees, all in a number of representative employee groups and students, maybe community,
yes.
or who's going
Ye-
to be?
All of the above. So it would definitely include all of the district stakeholders, faculty, staff, students. It will include all of our departments such as facilities and operation,
Right.
district police, et cetera. And we will also invite community members to participate in this working group.
Okay. And the second thing, I noticed the phase 1 will be done in July 2023. And basically that's tearing stuff down, tearing buildings, everything down but the heritage
So
hall, tearing it all down and moving in the portables.
yeah, so the project does include demolishing several of the old buildings that are on site. That will be phased. So on the south end of the site, we have some older portables that were being used by the Wright Elementary School District. Those will be demolished,
Mhm.
and in that location, we'll install the portables that we are relocating. The Child Care Center, by the way, will remain in operation through the entire process.
Okay, great. And the portables are coming from the Annalee Village? No. where are the-
Annalee Temps. So
Okay,
yes, those are the newer buildings that we put there for the Communication Studies Department.
and those are okay. And then it'll be really another 2 years before we get the buildings built,
That's
which
correct.
is normal. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, I had similar questions about just since I was there for Welcome Day and it looks like a lot of the buildings need to be demolished and so, but that's part of the plan is to, or at least the ones that won't be demolished yet will be blocked off, so there won't be any access.
That's correct. We are working right now with facilities and district police to secure those abandoned buildings. So before the design build team gets on site, we're working on securing those buildings. And then as soon as they get on site, they'll provide additional security to the site.
Great, thank you.
The last time that I was there, I believe there was childcare on the site. And what is going to happen with the childcare while you're remodeling?
So the Child Care Center will remain in operation the entire time that we are remodeling. So that was part of the component that was introduced to these design build teams, knowing that they have to work around it and make sure that it's operational.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, next we have a site update on our Petaluma campus with Dr. Long.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm Dr. Matthew Long. I'm your Executive Dean for SRJC Petaluma, and it's my pleasure to tell you a little about what's going on at Petaluma. There's a lot to choose from, so I just picked a few highlights to talk to you about today. And it's me. The first, of course, is our amazing event, our grand reopening and our first evening fundraiser for SRJC Petaluma called Building Futures. It's held on Saturday, September 24th. So just 11 days from now, 4 to 7 p.m. This is an event done in coordination with campus administration, our amazing foundation, and the Friends of Petaluma Campus Trust. Much thanks to our work for Trustee Fishman on this as well. It is presented by Exchange Bank, who is our major sponsor this year. It came in with a $10,000 sponsorship, and we really appreciate their support. In addition, we have almost 50 other sponsors for this event. The support has just been amazing from our community. I think folks are very excited to have us back in their community, open and live for our events, and are very excited. We will be raising funds for 4 areas that you see before you: our library, our student center and the programs within that, our STEM area and our programs, and then our intercultural center. So those are our 4 focus areas. And it is hosted by Ken Wayne from Crown 4 News, who's a local Petaluma resident and a great supporter of the campus. And our very own David Rao, library technician, his band Petty Rocks, that really is rocking and doing really amazing work out in the community. It will be our headliner for that. So we hope you can join us. I'm excited about the event, and it promises to be a fun time. In addition, just to update on Petaluma instruction, as Dr. Chong mentioned, we are mostly in person, about 66%, so a little more than the district average in terms of Petaluma site, and 34% online. We have 146 in-person and hybrid courses on campus, with a total of 221 courses offered. So a really nice selection. Of course, our job is to provide some very specific career education programs that are on Petaluma's campus, as well as the most common general introduction, general education courses. And that's what you'll see before you. Another exciting return is our cinema series, our featured program. We have an incredible lineup. It started last week with Everything Everywhere All at Once, really interesting film. The films are a collection of old films and new films. And of course, the lectures are always fun and very interesting. Turn your attention to one in particular, which I always find interesting when Mike Trina, our instructor, puts this in here. He is doing one on September 28th called Safety Last, and it's an old silent film. And what he does is bring in actual piano accompaniment, the original music that you would have heard on the silent film way back in the early 1900s. So I encourage you to check out these amazing offerings. Always a fun time. And of course, I will highlight the opening of our Petaluma Student Center, which has been open to much acclaim. Students are raving about the experience they have in there. We have 3 main portions in there: our Welcome and Connect Center that's in the front. As you see, the college has invested in our Welcome and Connect centers that are doing great work of connecting our community and potential students to our institution. So that has been great. And then our model of support services around the outside and lounge and engagement in the interior, that model has proven very successful. And that's what you'll see there. The support services, our success team is around the outside, helping students that are in there. We have the exciting opportunity to have you in this space at our October board meeting. So we look forward to hosting you there in that space and getting you more acquainted with that. And in fact, at that time, we hope to have you with a tour before your board meeting next time. So if you haven't had a chance to see all the amazing things that have changed on the campus, there's been quite some work done the last couple of years. This will be your opportunity to do so. So we look forward to hosting you then. That's my presentation. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you.
See you next month, or actually at the end of this month for your.
Yes.
All right, student trustee report. Trustee DeLachey Carmona Benson.
Thank you, President Battenfield, Dr. Chong, the rest of the board, and our college community. I want to also say that I was very impressed with all the new people that we have hired. It's quite a diverse group, and I'm looking forward to having them here and part of our family here. The Student Trustee Council that I've started kicks off their first meeting next week on, next week on the 23rd. We're looking really forward to that. We've been having quite a bit of people, quite a bit of students reaching out and wanting to be part of that. I have to say that I've been walking around and checking out the students and seeing that the morale is coming up, and, you know, more and more students are coming on campus, and the campus doesn't look so dead anymore. And I think that's just wonderful. I just drove here from Petaluma, and the Petaluma campus also had so many students walking around looking ever so happy. I was really, really, just warms my heart to see all the students slowly but surely coming back on campus. Next week, actually this week on Wednesday, we start our Spirit Week, and it's gonna run into the following Wednesday. And it's gonna start with Club Day here on this campus, and I'm definitely looking, you know, forward to that. And all the clubs are gonna be tabling. So if anybody's on campus, please come through, check out all the clubs and what they're doing. And I also want to just say that we have some really, really incredible students here. And I thought I'd take a little bit of time to highlight one of our students and make that like part of my report every month. And this student is Jimmy Brock. Jimmy Brock is 38 years old. He's a re-entry student, and he started at SRJC in 2002. He has been here faithfully for 20 years. He is the president of the Students for Recovery. He's the VP of the Disabled Club. He is our VP of Finance on Student Government. He's the treasurer of ICC. He's a second chance student. In the community, he has a lot of roles as well. He is looking for an AA in general ed and a human service certificate. His future is wanting to get a master's in English and eventually get a PhD in English. His hobby is listening to audiobooks, and he is also on several committees, the College Council, Student Life, he's a treasurer, he's a student rep council, he's on the Student Trustee Council with us, and also the District Safety and Health. He's also in Homeless and Housing and Security, and he's also the treasurer of the Flip Club. And he does all this, you guys, with a GPA of 3.9. It's fabulous. And I just want to just highlight him. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next, board member comments. Yep. Trustee Kendi?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. A few events I attended. First, it was putting up the last beam, Seraphin, that on the student housing. A lot of you were there, and I think it was really a great event. Really fun to see that last beam finally go up. That was really something. So it's very, very impressive. Then also a couple weekends ago, up at the Schoen Farm, it was the John and Terry Boletto soft opening for the tasting area. Brad, you know, it was great. Everything you guys did up there, and everyone was so dedicated and excited, and it was getting a little warm that day. That's when we were doing our heat. And let me tell you, the rosé tasted very good that day. But anyways, it was a nice event. There was trustees there at both the events, and congratulations to all for successful events put on.
Thank you.
I'd just like to comment on the student support guide. That was a direct mail piece that went out to the public here recently, and whoever was behind putting this together did a wonderful job. So thank you very much. Okay.
That was Michelle Poggi, right? And so
Well
thank
done.
you, Michelle. Good job.
All right, anybody else? Yeah, Trustee Fishman?
Yeah, I just had the pleasure of going to 2 welcome days in Petaluma, the welcome day, and at Southwest, and they were both great events. And I know I took a lot of joy in looking at the welcome day photos from Santa Rosa. So I know universally welcome day was a really positive experience for students. And, you know, a special shout out to all of you for working on Saturdays, pulling yourself away from lesson planning, leaving your offices to go out and greet the students in such a warm, welcoming way. You know, it really makes a difference. You could almost feel it in the air, and it was special, and I was happy to be there. The other thing that I was also very honored to be part of. Congressman Thompson called and asked me to be to represent SRJC at a panel discussion on women's reproductive rights. And so I did that with a number of other women from the Santa Rosa Health Center, the Petaluma Health Center, the Commission on the Status of Women, Planned Parenthood. I tell you, I was outgunned. These ladies were really impressive, but I represented SRJC well, and it was a growing experience for me in some ways too. Well, Dr. Long already stole my thunder about sort of telling about the event in Petaluma, but what I will say about that he didn't quite say is it's from 4 to 7. So, you still have all of your Saturday night. So you can come down, you walk around. It's not a sit down dinner. You can stroll around and see everything that's going on. And there'll be beverages, adult beverages and good nubblies. And we'd love to see you there. The other thing I always have a moment to talk to individual department chairs and things. And I had a lovely chat with Brad Davis today about the Community Membership Advisory Council, and he will be providing the handbook that's referenced in the board agenda to the board when it gets printed. It's not quite printed yet. And so, Brad, thank you. And I think that's it. I'm done.
Oh, hi. I was at the soft opening as well. And I want to say thanks. I think his name is Connor, and I'm horrible because I took my kid and he went out of his way and hung out with him. I think he was one of 2 kids. There was a baby. But it was really nice to see that because again, Show Farm just does that. They're always very family friendly, even though there's alcohol involved. But he was really sweet, shared some of the produce from Show Farm, and Joaquin wants to say thank you very much for that. So wherever you are, thank you. And Southwest, I really enjoy going. I think the atmosphere is pretty awesome, and it's actually really nice to see former students who work for us there, because that's one of the few times that they get to see me. I'm like, hi. So it's exciting to do that. And then also, it was also really hot as well on that day, but everybody was, they were sharing like popsicles and all of that stuff. So everybody got really creative. And so it's really exciting. It was really exciting also because knowing that some of the visions that we have for the new space and really seeing the space again, and how much we have of it and how much work we're going to do with it. It's really exciting because I kind of saw like that this is happening. Finally, it's happening. So it's nice to see that and all of the work that everybody puts in to make sure that all of our sites have representation, that they look and feel like, they belong to the students and that are a part of us. And then also another shout out to Maggie for hosting Ariana at her campus, a former alumni of the JC Petaluma campus, who's a PhD candidate at UC Riverside. So thank you.
To add to that, that baby was my new grandson that was there at the tasting. And 6 weeks old. And yes, Dr. Chong, he was carded, so we're good.
Okay, anybody else? All right. Okay, yeah, and I won't repeat what everybody else said, but I also attended some of the welcome days, and yeah, it was great to see all the energy from the students, and yeah, appreciate all the staff that took extra time. I know those events just seem like they pop up and they happen, but I know they take a lot of work, so I'm really thankful for everybody who organized them and made them happen. It's no easy task to do events planning, so who's ever in charge of it all, thank you. And then just as a business item, I just wanted to let people know we have had an ad hoc committee that's was tasked to work on some board policies. They redid our board evaluation. It's being chaired by Trustee Benuelos, and just wanted to let people know I have asked her to continue with the ad hoc committee in connection with our accreditation goals and some of the ways we have to redo and renumber some of our board bylaws and policies. Trustee Benuelos and her committee is going to be reviewing the drafts of a lot of the policies that have actually already been put together by the Community College League, who we now work with, but they're going to be reviewing them, looking at them, seeing if there's anything we need to change before they eventually get brought forward to the community for comments and feedback, and then also to the board. So they're going to be working on that this fall and maybe early into the spring, we'll see. So I just wanted to let people know that that was happening. So thank you. All right, moving on to reports and starting with Academic Senate. I believe it's Monica Akubo is going to give the report today.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Nancy Persons, President of the Academic Senate, Board President Battenfield, Dr. Chong, trustees, and college community. The following is a brief summary of Academic Senate work since my last report. And remember, this is on behalf of President Persons. At our retreat August 26th, we covered the basics of the Academic Senate purview, developed a shared understanding of what equity means to us and where it shows up in our work. We identified potential goals for the Senate for the year that will come to the Senate soon for discussion. We will apply the IDEAA values defined by the Academic Senate for California Community Colleges, ASCCC, to all 10+1 work during the 22-23 academic year. These values are inclusion, diversity, equity, anti-racism, and accessibility. For the Student Equity Plan 2.0, the Academic Senate agreed to form a work group to address metrics. Faculty members to participate on the work group have been chosen, and we look forward to what they bring to the Senate for input. We are addressing the requirements of the ACCJC in 2 areas identified by the Commission. This topic was moved to an action item and discussed at our meeting September 7th. The Academic Senate approved a work group at its meeting September 7th. At our meeting September 21st, we hope to approve defined goals, ancillary duty, duration, and membership of the committee, and then to put out a call to faculty for participation immediately after this is approved. We are proceeding with a return to work on guided pathways. Significant work was completed by the 4 guided pathways work groups, some of which is ongoing. The Academic Senate Executive Committee and Matthew Long will be meeting with 2 ASCCC representatives soon to discuss how we might strategize discussion of the large remaining balance of GP funds from last cycle, as well as the new funds coming to us in the second cycle, so that we may ensure the most impactful and beneficial implementation of guided pathways for our students at SRJC. We anticipate that this work will bring us into collaboration with multiple constituent groups at SRJC and hope to make a presentation to the board later this year on guided pathways. We will return to discussion of the faculty hiring procedure at our September 21st meeting and have made it almost the entire way through the current procedure. We will also be bringing the DEIA Professional Development Workgroup recommendations back to the Senate in the next few weeks for discussion and recommendations on action. Strategic Plan Mission, Vision, and Values Statement. At our meeting of August 31st, Dr. Smotherman presented the current draft of the mission, vision, and values to the Senate in the form of a report. There were no significant questions and no comments at the time, so the item was scheduled to be added to the board agenda for this meeting today. However, we later received a request from a senator for further discussion of this item at a subsequent meeting. I added this item to the September 7th AS agenda so that if senators felt they had given sufficient input, it could still be included on today's board agenda. Hadn't given us sufficient input. However, some questions and comments lingered, and so we will seek further input to provide to the board on this issue once more at our meeting of September 21st. For my final comment, I would like to express the following concern. In my role as AS president, I converse regularly with a wide array of SRJC employees and students. In almost every conversation, someone expresses the concern that they feel like things at SRJC are almost at the breaking point, that vacancies and illnesses are coming close to causing things to fall apart. We are also good at backing each other up, filling in for each other, and keeping things going, but my sense is that we are stretched so thin that there is no wiggle room left. At our President's Consultation Council meeting last week, one discussion topic was about what we won't do anymore, as Dr. Chong discussed. It is my hope that the Board of Trustees understands the level of stress we are all under at this point and recognizes the urgency of our collective situation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Classified Senate with Debbie Weatherly.
Good afternoon, Board President Battenfield, Board of Trustees, Dr. Chong, and colleagues. Congratulations to Antoine Zaragoza for the honor of being awarded Employee of the Month. Nicely done. And he always has a great smile and attitude, so congratulations again. We hosted the luncheon for classified employees, and it was very well attended. Kathy Matthews orchestrates the event with helping hands from the senators. She works so hard on all of our events. Our next big event will be on Halloween, and we are hosting a luncheon potluck with a costume contest. This was a past tradition in our district, and we are happy to bring it back. Look for more information as the month draws closer, and this is going to be open to everyone, not just classified. So we want to encourage everyone to come out for that. I can remember in the past, the judges were a lot of the trustees. I think Gail LeBaron was a judge at one point. So it's a very nice event. So try to come out for that. President's Consultation Council met by Zoom with lots of discussion on enrollment updates and accreditation needs for compliance with student learning outcomes, or SLOs. We had our first hybrid classified Senate meeting on the 2nd. We are in the midst of a reorganization of our senator duties, and we are updating our Constitution and our bylaws. On College Council, it was decided that Jean Durand, our VP of HR, and Nancy Persons, the Academic Senate President, would co-chair. They are taking on the duty of reviewing our charge. We also will be working on our shared governance reorg. Abrea Tillman, our current student government president, mentioned that we need a shared governance training for students. It was agreed we could all use some training on shared governance. We also will begin to discuss the process that we should follow in College Council. PBC has moved back to in-person, and it really was good to connect with everyone. We will be reviewing grant process and how grants will be vetted. Kate Jolly gave a budget update report and answered many questions. Thank you, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. See, we have a Student Government Assembly report with Abrea Tillman. Is she here in person or, oh, there she is. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. I'm here on Zoom and I hope that you can hear me well. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abrea Tillman. I'm the Student Government Assembly President. And we meet on Mondays from 3 to 5 and the city chamber. I'm doing a lot hybrid. So you can hop on Zoom too. If you want to be in Centra and you can have our meeting go. But some of the latest updates are definitely so I definitely want to take the time to give a shout out to my officers because they are amazing. We have a full house basically of officers in the middle of balancing life and balancing classes. So I really greatly appreciate them. And we did have a presence at Southwest, and I'm grateful that it was felt because we were handing out popsicles, and like you heard, it was hot, so people enjoyed them. So that was awesome. Thank you to my VP of ICC and my VP of Finance, Dory and Jimmy, Zach, and Genevieve, our advisors, for helping put everything together for Southwest. Upcoming is Spirit Week. Spirit Week is going to last from September 14th through September 21st. And there's 5 events. First is Club Day happening tomorrow with our VP, ICC, Dory, and our advisor, Nick. So thank y'all for that. Jimmy, our VP of Finance, has been very helpful and influential as well with getting that together. So we look forward to having Club Day on the quad. On Thursday, the 15th, we're going to have a SGA collab with BSU on the quad with our VP of Marketing, Petaluma Dewan, is hosting the event for Bring Your Own Business. And it's a great way to highlight our student businesses and our community businesses in a way to shine light. So that's going to be fun. That's the 15th. On the 16th is game day, men's soccer, women's volleyball. If you don't know, SGA is very close with athletics. In an attempt to get everyone to be involved with Club Card Premium, we offer free admission to our games and theater and cinemas. So please let your students know if they have Club Card Premium, they get free admission to our games, which include the upcoming men's and women's games, men's soccer, women's volleyball. Then we have the student mixer. So we want people to know who our officers are in SGA. Some of them just don't know. So next Monday during SGA times, we are going to have a mixer so students can come and know and learn who the officers are in a very fun, positive, friendly way. So that's happening next Monday. Then we'll have a club advisor training. In an attempt to get more clubs, we also need an advisor per club. Some people don't know what that entails. So, we're gonna have a training. That'll be on the 20th. And then last but certainly not least, to end our Spirit Week, on the 21st, we're gonna have Get Involved online workshop hosted by our advisors. So thank you to Zach, Genevieve, Melissa, and Nick, our advisors who are so supportive, all my awesome VPs for Spirit Week. Okay, and then we're gonna collaborate, SGA is gonna collaborate with peers on September 28th for Suicide Prevention Month. That's gonna be in the SAC from 5 to 7 on the 28th. And part of our panel will be some of my fellow officers. So I definitely look forward to my EVP, my VP of Finance, and my trustee to be there as well for the Suicide Prevention collab with peers September 28th. SGA has definitely attempted this semester, this year, with getting out who we are and what we're all about. And the best way to do that has been with our partnership with PR. Thank you, PR. So if you want to know more about what SGA has going on outside of meetings, look to SGA Thursdays. Thank you to my VP of Finance, my VP of Student Life, and my VP of Marketing, who have already put out videos highlighting who they are and what SGA is all about in their respective lanes on our social platforms. There's also the What's New at SRJC Monthly. We are grateful for PR to be including SGA in that as well, because it goes out to faculty and it's now going out to students. So you'll also know what's going on with SGA there. And we have been doing a lot of photos, hence all the makeup. We had the photo shoot in Petaluma today to update some of our videos, to update some of our pictures on all the campuses. So thank you to my VP of Diversity and my VP of Clubs who came out and did photo shoots at the various times and locations. Please let your students know that we're looking for more participants and models for upcoming photos as well. SGA's goal is to highlight the available resources that we have to create and implement innovative change in policy and procedure and to increase student engagement. We do have an opening for Student Life Petaluma. So if you know any students that are interested, please send them my way. And again, SGA meets Mondays from 3 to 5 in the Senate chambers or hybrid. Look for more information on the SRJC website. Thank you and have a great evening.
So moving on to SEIU with Sandy Segala.
Okay. Good afternoon, Board President Battenfield, Board Trustees, Dr. Chong, and students, colleagues, and community. Thank you for your attention today. I first would like to start off with apologizing to the Board of Trustees. I was alerted that I've been over my report time frame, and I just wanted to let you know. Last month I was, and I know it was, but there's things that you need to hear that sometimes there's not enough time within 5 minutes to get the word to you. So I apologize for that, and I'm moving on as the clock is ticking as I'm trying to explain myself. So August the 12th, SEIU, we participated in the 2 sessions of PDA. We had sessions 2
and 3 and was very well attended, very successful. We covered miscellaneous contract ratification details, and in addition, we were able to provide other various contract articles that classified had questions about. And our agenda also included information in regards to the subject of job stewarding, which is when, classified have concerns that revolve around their jobs. So we talked about that and how that works, as well as an update to the classified review study process. We have also been involved with the district initiated transfers because that continues to go forward monthly. We had several this month, and we continue to work very closely with the district on this. SEIU continues to work with academic affairs in regards to the workload issues that I brought up last month with the board, and Vice President Holcomb is working on various ways to address this classified professional workload or overload issue. Classification review continues moving forward, and we have roughly around 6 classifications yet to fulfill. One being the administrative assistance area is a very, very large group. So I don't know how long that one's going to take, but it is very lengthy. The committee hopes to complete this first phase in September so that we can move forward reviewing the feedback from our classified. Then, of course, there's the appeal process if there is disagreement, which will begin to be addressed soon thereafter. So the classification review committee continues to move forward to get the process completed. We can't wait till it's over. It's been a long, long time. So SEIU has created a committee to work on a Shown Farm CSA boxes, which will include veggies and fruits from Shown Farm to be dispersed to our classified professionals. There will be 25 boxes each for a total of 100 for the fall semester. However, this is starting out. SEIU will send a survey to the classified, and the first 100 to respond will receive a CSA box during this fall semester. Yet to have a detailed discussion with the district on costs and all that. An exciting gathering was provided by the Classified Senate. Debbie Weatherly and her team was put on August the 24th. It was a welcome back luncheon with many employees in attendance. It was a great turnout. I enjoyed it. Everyone there enjoyed it. And of course, we also enjoyed the excellent food that Kathy Mathis provides. Thank you, the Classified Senate. I attended our SEIU monthly executive board meeting late August, where our president, Joseph Bryant, was recruited to Washington, D.C. with Mary Kay Henry, our Service Employee International Union president, to serve in the national executive board position. We were sorry to see him go, but he deserves to be there. We then installed a new president for our local SEIU, Ms. Teresa Rutherford from San Francisco, to a 3-year term as president. On behalf of SEIU, I also participated on the hiring committee for the recent Dean of Students intern position with hopes that the decision is put out on that soon. And this concludes my report, and thank you for your attention today. I think I still have a minute left. Thank you.
Thank you. Management Liaison Team, Sarah Lagos.
Good afternoon, President Battenfeld, members of the board, Dr. Chong, and college community. The management team is grateful to hear the renewed focus the college is taking to finally have the conversation about what we will no longer do, as Dr. Chong reported today. Over the past 5 years, SRJC has seen an exodus of employees through early retirement incentives, moves, and other reasons, but no corresponding review and analysis of the workloads that remain. We are lucky to rely on the dedication of the remaining employees to pick up the workload and ensure our students and programs and services are supported. And while I'm proud of our management team for the additional responsibilities many have taken on with no complaint or adjustment, this is an important and necessary conversation to have. We look forward to implementing the actionable steps necessary for change. It's been a relatively smooth adjustment for a concentrated return to campus. I hope I didn't jinx anything by saying that out loud. But a special acknowledgement to Hank Langford and his team, who not only are dealing with the return of thousands of students and employees to campus, utilizing all the facilities and spaces, but also had to contend with an unprecedented heat wave last week. Thanks to Hank, David Liebman, and many others, our buildings stayed cool, and our students were able to continue to access programs, events, and services inside rather than in the sweltering heat. For most of us, the hot weather and the approaching fall brings back memories of smoke and wildfires. It's why the team at Public Safety Training Center is so important for the safety of our community. Lanny Brown is fiercely passionate and cares about his program and students. Lanny is a statewide leader and collaborator with the State Academy Directors Association, pushing for changes and working on modernizing police academy curriculum. Steve Potter is extremely dedicated and goes above and beyond to support the students in the public and the basic police academy. Steve is always available to his recruits every hour of the day and on site taking care of everything from students to facilities whenever an issue arrives. Steve is a go-to person no matter what comes up. Charisse Arnolds is a hardworking and dedicated manager who juggles more than most given the nature of her programs, with multiple short-term in-service classes that cross multiple accreditation, partner agencies, and college regulation hurdles. And finally, Ken Sebastiani leads our fire technology program and has successfully worked with the SRJC Foundation to bring our students multiple opportunities to give back, in turn supporting future students for years to come. Ken also led our Fire Academy to receive the inaugural and very prestigious Ronnie J. Coleman Award as the best fire academy in the state. As we face another fall, we're grateful to have this team educating and training the next generation of first responders. As the college continues to focus on enrollment management strategies and identify ways to grow our enrollment, we have all likely heard Dr. Chong say, enrollment is everyone's job. Whether we're talking to our friends, neighbors, or individuals we meet in a grocery store, we are all ambassadors for the college. Sometimes though, ambassadors can get a little stumped on where to turn or how to help our prospective or current students enroll and persist. That's why SRJC is so lucky to have Vida Smith as the Director of Admissions, Records, and Enrollment Services. Vida is passionately committed to our students. She understands enrollment and admissions nuances, and her willingness to individually see every single student who comes her way with their unique needs and requests ensures our students don't get lost in the challenges of navigating bureaucratic systems and processes. We might all be responsible for supporting enrollment, but Vida clears the way so our efforts do not go unrewarded. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that is the end of the reports. Now moving on to information items. There was an information item posted on the student health fee increase. There I don't think there's a presentation unless the board has questions about it. You can make a presentation if you want, but we're good.
Let me just explain that you've probably seen this before. And you gave the waiver back during the worst parts of COVID. And you lifted it, but we didn't get it in time. And this is on us to get it for fall. So we're just coming back to you, letting you know it will start in the spring. So pretty simple. All good? Thank you all.
We're good.
But it takes us up to the limit we can charge,
Yes,
right?
and you already
Yes.
have a board policy that says we can charge the maximum.
Max, and
allowable.
this is the max.
That's the maximum allowable. Thank you.
So we don't have to approve anything. And you're just
You're all good.
informing us that we're implementing our policy. Great. Yeah, in the spring. Okay. Thank you. All right, we were supposed to have a quick break, but I was gonna cancel it unless people need a break. Yes. Keep going. But if anybody needs to leave, leave and come back. Anyway, all right. I'm going to move on to the consent agenda. Then we have items 1 through 16. Is there any that anybody wishes to pull? All right, then I need a motion and a second to approve items E1 through 15.
Motion approved, E1.
All right, and again, since we're here in person, we don't need to do roll call votes anymore. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Or any abstentions? All right. Moving on to the action agenda, F, starting with F1 personnel actions for September 13th, 2022. I need a motion and a second, please.
Move for approval.
Second. All right, do we have any public comment? Any board comments or questions? All right, then we'll have a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed or abstentions? All right, F2, which is the July 15th, 2022 to August 18th, 2022 warrants. I need a motion and a second, please.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, any public comment? Or any board comments or questions? All right, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ms. Fishman?
I'm just confused about something. I thought that on a consent calendar, we could say aye, but on action, we did voice. That's not right? Because we always had the student trustee go first. Just in resolution. Okay, all right, short memory.
You okay? Huh? Yeah. For F2, you abstain, please. All right. All right. We're getting used to being in person. All right. F3 is the 2022 to 23 budget for the Sonoma County Junior College District. And we have, I'm going to ask, we have a presentation and then I'll have a motion in a second, and then we'll have an opportunity for any public comment or board comments. So thank you, Kate. Jolly.
Okay. Good afternoon, President Battenfeld, members of the board, Dr. Chong and colleagues. I am super happy to be here in person today to present the 22-23 adopted budget. So when we created the 21-22 budget about a year ago, we had an increase to our fund balance of about 159,000 budgeted. I'm happy to report that similar to last year, our ending position, we were able to add 8.7 million to our 21-22 ending fund balance, and I'll go more in depth on that in a couple of slides. So jumping into where we ended up with the unrestricted general fund, our revenues came in at 139 million and our expenses were about 130.3. 63.3% of that is in salaries. Academic salaries is 39.2, classified of 15.3, management of almost 8, and then other salaries of a little over 1%. Our benefits accounted for about 24.1%, bringing our total salary and benefit expenses to 87.4% of our budget. In comparison, that was about 89% in the previous year. So we continue to trend in the correct direction and what we were aiming for in our long range planning. On the functional side, so this is just basically explaining all of the expenses by type. As expected, we had about 73% of our funding is spent on instructional activities and support, as well as student services. Of the remaining amount, a little less than 23% funds the district administrative functions, and a little under 5% funds the community services, ancillary, and our transfers to other funds, including for OPEB. For early retirement. So it's not a surprise to anybody, I'm sure, to hear that we've been losing our full-time equivalent students, or FTES. This chart shows the level of FTES in our district since 2016-17. The funded level of 19,451 FTES under the fire waiver is the purple line. The goal under the long range plan of 17,500 is in green, and then the actual amount that we've been serving is in red. So back when we created the long range plan in 2018, we did have a 9% reduction to the schedule. We did anticipate losing some FTES. We knew, in that decline, we were hoping to land about 17.5. We landed about 17.3, and then COVID hit, and we've had just a steady decline since. In 21-22, we ended up with a final amount of 12,454. So as we move into 22-23, restoring our FTES will be one of the district's largest initiatives. Last spring, the Planning and Budget Council created an enrollment management work group, as Dr. Chong mentioned earlier, to explore solutions and make recommendations. And Dr. Holcomb is leading that process and moving it forward. So I'm sure you will hear more as we go. So as part of their budget proposal, the state implemented a reform of the hold harmless, which was an amazing gift for most districts, but created some, issues for us in a little bit. So what it did was it made the funded 24-25 level the floor that districts would no longer go below. So however, a district won't receive ongoing COLA until they grow into what they're earning under the SCFF. So this has created a very large impact on our future financial planning. It does eliminate our fiscal cliff, which is fabulous, that we were preparing for under the long range plan, but it now creates a new gap that we need to address. So the chart that you see is simply for illustrative purposes to kind of understand the concept of this new reality that they have given us. So assume the state gives us 145 million in 24-20. Oops, sorry. I'm going the wrong way. There we go. In 24-25. So right here, we've got 145 million. We're still earning our current 12,450 roughly FTES. So when we go into 25-26 here, we've still got that 145 million as our base. They give us a one-time COLA of 3%. So our funding for that year would be this 149,350. However, we're getting ongoing COLA added to our average FTES. And so our earned amount, which is what the 12,450 is at this 106. And this is the amount that you'll see increasing throughout. Notice the gap of 42.9 million there. So rolling into the future year in 26-27, the state returns us back to this 24-25, 145 million, and then gives us a one-time COLA of 2%. Which brings us to 147.9 million for 26-27. Note that that is less than the previous year. However, the average FTES funding rate is increasing. And so this gap that we're earning along the bottom actually closes. So this has, this goes on and for future years. Just to give us a sense of what this means for us long-term, for 22-23, the gap that is created is about $36 million. So looking forward and using a lot of various assumptions, if we didn't increase our FTES, it would take us till about 2037 to grow into our funded amount where we would earn ongoing COLA. However, we are not facing the fiscal cliff, which is fabulous. You know, there's a bright side to this, I promise. But because the COLA is only one time, not ongoing, to afford increasing costs, you would have to reduce each year in order to afford any ongoing costs. So that is the critical nature of the work that Dr. Holcomb is doing to under the enrollment management plan. No pressure. I'm gonna hand that to you. But you know, the bright side is, you know, under the long range planning, we had assumed always 17,500 FTES was that level that we wanted to get to. I had that on the previous slide. Under this new formula, we would need to get to about 17.3 in order to achieve our funded COLAs ongoing. But there is a lot that needs to happen between now and then. You know, it's 3 years out. And so this is just a preview of the discussions that you will be hearing more about as we go. So the long range plan. So the changes that I just talked about really have a significant effect on the future of our long range plan. I'm happy to continue. We still make progress. We've reduced 17.4 million. There is 5 million remaining under the original plan. However, with the changes in the hold harmless from the state, this creates a new issue from what we were previously facing. Because there's no longer a fiscal cliff or that extreme loss of funding that we had been planning on, and instead just a loss of COLA. With no mechanism at the state level to take the loss and become fiscally stable, the focus instead changes over to FTES and what level we will be able to return to. Once we realize that, we will be able to return to our long range planning process on how to manage the remainder of the gap ongoing. So for 22-23, I am recommending an additional $500,000 reduction so we can continue to realign resources to areas that are under-resourced. We also have reductions from 21-22 that we were only able to achieve using one-time reductions in previous year that we will be finding permanent solutions for in 22-23. Beyond that, I am recommending we take time to, we pause to take the time needed to let the enrollment management work group create their plan this fall and provide the information needed to do the meaningful long-term planning. Okay, so now for 22-23 and how that all translates into what's before you for approval today. So all budgets are built on major assumptions, both on the revenue and the expenses side. Assumptions are the differences between the previously approved budget and the one that's before you. So for revenue, we have budgeted enrollment of 19,451 FTES. That is the amount under the fire waiver, as well as, the hold harmless will then kick in future years. The state did fund a 6.56% cost of living adjustment on apportionment funding. As our head enrollment declines, we are seeing drops in local revenue. So we have a reduction of 468,000 in the budget to account for that. We received 1.8 million last year, an allocation of 1.8 million last year for full-time faculty hiring funds. We did receive the allocation in sufficient time to be able to hire those faculty, but it was after the budget had already been approved. And so we've added that in for this year. We're increasing 201,000 for an increase in rates for lottery and the mandated cost reimbursement funding. And then in addition to the COLA, the state funded a base allocation increase of 600 million for California community colleges. This included increases in tech funds to ensure districts could maintain remote offerings, funds the state's roadmap and the chancellor's vision, and helps to eliminate the future fiscal cliff. This results in about 7.1 million for the district. So moving on to the expenditure side, we negotiated a 4.44% salary increase with our groups. We have always had an offset in the budget to account for savings from personnel turnover. With the reductions under the long range plan, we're not seeing that same level of savings each year. So we are reducing the reduction, the offset by 250,000, bringing that down to 250,000, which is more in line with what we're seeing each year. We have the new faculty from the 1.8 million from the allocation we did above and Dr. Holcomb introduced earlier. We have our normal step and column or salary adjustments for steps for our permanent employees. We saw increases to some other benefit areas in 21-22 as well as for 22-23. There is a light increase in our work comp, but the majority of that is coming from unemployment changes related to COVID. The state did step in last year, and we did also use some of our state COVID funding to offset some of those increases, but we're having to recognize it in this year since it is continuing. We saw our STRS rate increase, a sizable jump from 16.9 to 19.1. This is the last planned jump for STRS. However, they do have the ability to increase it up or down 1% each year as we move forward. PERS also saw a nice jump from 22.9 to 25.4. This was the last year planned increase for them. They are actually anticipating slight declines over the next 2 years. So we're hopeful that'll pull through. We have some new positions in the budget, which, is great. We see these are mostly related around the Southwest Center. So that's the AA3 level out there. We did hire a custodian out there when we took over that. And then along with the tech funding, we've got positions approved in distance ed as well as IT. We negotiated picking up the increases to health benefits this year. We have our uncontrollable cost increases. So this is our legal, our insurance. We also have maintenance costs around Southwest Center, fire panel monitoring, all of the things that go along with running on campus. We did have a savings of 230,000 that we had previously spent in rent, and that is offsetting those additional costs. And then we've got sabbaticals, which is not new. They just vary each year from year to year. And so we need to just budget appropriately. We saw a sizable increase in our utilities this year. Some of that is from transitioning back to campus, but the vast majority of it is around rate increases from our providers. It is a board election year. This goes on and off every year. So it's back on this year. There's the $500,000 reduction to non-instructional positions from the revised long-range plan. We had an increase of $400,000 to our transfer to our retiree benefits fund. This is related to a couple things. It's around our early retirement option, not our early retirement incentive, but we had negotiated an increase to the stipend to that quite a few years ago. It was incremental. And so we've got that one step. We also have an increase in the number of retirees we have, as well as we've seen the rate increases in the benefit costs associated with them. And the most exciting thing in the world for me, I think this is the first time I have been able to talk about this since I agreed to take on this role. We actually have some new funds in the budget for innovation and growth. So we put, with everything that we need to focus on this year, we put in $500,000 in one-time funds to fund things that come up, ways to come up with ideas, seed money to start things. So this is, I think it's the first for me. So I'm super excited about that. I'll be honest. It's the little things in life. Okay, so when you apply all of that to our budget, here's the breakdown by the type of major level revenues and expenses for the 22-23 unrestricted general fund. Looking at expenses, we have about 62.5% in salaries and our benefits are 24.4. So our total salary and benefits is 86.9. And we also continue to make progress to being more sustainable, longer term, when you look at the makeup of the total salaries and benefits within our budget. When you add it all up, we are budgeting a $1.78 million increase to our unrestricted fund balance. So here's our fund balance, and this is another beautiful thing. In 17-18, when we were just setting out, we had a fund balance of 5.4%. So this is an indicator of financial instability. We had been on the Chancellor's Office watch list. We got put on enhanced fiscal monitoring by ACCJC. Since then, we had been working to increase that. Although it was slow, we were always headed in the right direction. And then the last 2 years, we've been able to make the dramatic increases, mostly around related to not being on site, as well as the revenue backfills from the federal funding and just ongoing savings from the long range plan and all the work that we've been doing. It's the one benefit I found in the pandemic. I think I'm the only one that has found something, so I'm super proud of that. But it has afforded us to make headway on this quest of ours, or of mine, I guess. So as of June 30, 2022, we had increased our unrestricted fund balance to 19.1%. I am super proud. So the state has always required us to maintain 5%, a minimum of 5%. In the state budget this year, they put in a strong recommendations that districts develop policies to maintain 2 months of expenditures, which is equivalent to a 16.7% fund balance. So as you can see on the chart here for 22-23, even though we are adding the 1.78 million to fund balance because of our large increase in revenues, our fund balance percentage is dropping slightly to 17.8. However, it is still higher than the 16.7 recommendation. So we will work on bringing those policies to the board as we transition over to the new CCLC templates. Okay. So I'm going to cruise quickly through here. So our focus is always on the general fund. We do have 11 other funds that we don't get the love that they usually probably should. But they include our special revenue funds, our facilities related, and our internal service funds. So they include Fund 33 is our child development. So this is the children's center portion, not the lab up to the instructional program. 34 is our farm. So this is our farm operations and is mostly funded out of revenue from grapes. 35 auxiliary. So that is really around the commissions and expenses of food services. Our parking fund is everything related to the parking lots and funds a portion of district police salaries and is funded out of parking fines and fees as required by Ed Code. 41 is our capital project. So that's our local, state, and federal non-bond related facilities projects. And then 44 is Measure H, our bond project. One thing I will note in Measure H is we do have the 105 million in there for the last issuance of the series. 61 is our self-insurance fund. We are self-funded for the lower end of our property and liability, as well as our dental. 69 is our retiree benefits that I mentioned earlier. 71 is our new fund that you approved back in June. So that is related to the Cup Card Premium. It used to be over in SGA. However, with GASB 84, they required it come into the district. So that's the brand new one. And then we've got our student rep fee and our student center fee that are both in 72 and 73. So if anybody wants a copy of the presentation, any additional details, the budget book and this presentation will be out on the website, and then the budget book will also be in board docs. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Kate, as always, you did an excellent job. So thank you very much. But I did have one quick question. That was, I believe our Board of Trustees who are up for re-election are all running unopposed. So why would you be reflecting a $200,000 cost up there?
That is a great question. It is because we still have to pay for the election to occur. So
Oh, we do.
So it's in there. Oops, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit that. It's in there. That doesn't mean that we will see 200,000. We may see 5,000, but because when we're creating the budget, it's not always known. We put it in there. It rolls in and out each year. And if we don't spend it all, then I will be talking about how we increase our fund balance next year.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else?
Yes.
You know, I'm forever a student about this budget, forever.
I welcome your question.
I know, and I've heard this, a couple times since I sit on the finance committee. But I was wondering if you could go back to the slide that says the negative 500,000 for the non-instructional personnel.
Mhm.
All right, reduction to non-instructional positions. And so that's people, right? And that's jobs. And is that be resolved by attrition? Just because I don't want anyone, to freak out about that. And then to finish the question, then there's a 250,000 for a hiring slowdown reduction.
Mhm.
Could you marry them for me or something, or?
Yes, I can, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
So the 500,000 is the long range plan. And so
Okay.
that's just an ongoing reduction that we've done each year, and it's all been handled through attrition, I think.
Okay.
For the most part, it's been handled through attrition. So that's that piece of it. So the hiring slowdown. So we used to see large amounts of savings from people leaving at a higher step, being hired at a lower step, taking 3 to 4 months to recruit for a position. And that used to we had a negative setup in the budget to account for that, so that our budget was more accurate each year. But now with the long range plan and everybody using those as one-time savings and to achieve targets and really being more on top of hiring and timing and strategic, we've seen that just really shrink over the last 4 years. And so I've been bringing reductions to the reduction to more align with what we're really seeing. So does that help? Okay.
Yeah, anybody else? Yeah. Student trustee, Delashay.
I seen that you had 500,000 for your fund growth and innovation growth. How exactly will you be using that money, and who can access that money? Like, how does that money?
We
gonna
do
be
not have a
used?
plan for that yet at all. This is brand new. So it needs to get approved through here. And then I would assume we would be talking to the Planning and Budget Council. We have not talked about how that will be allocated out in any way or applied for or anything. We don't know that yet.
Anybody else?
Yeah, just comment, Kate, that was so well explained. I want to thank you very much because you really, I think she deserves a round of applause for her travels.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, but I'm voting no. We're voting no, so.
Then Kate will be happy. All right, I need a motion and a second for F3 to approve the 22-23 budget.
So moved.
Second.
All right, do we have any public comment? All right, and any other board member comments or questions before we vote? And again, this does not have to be a roll call vote. All right, so, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Or any abstention? All right, so we have approved our budget. Thank you again. All right. To Kate and to all your staff, I know, who have been working hours and hours on this. Yes, thank you. All right, then on to F4, which is this resolution 24 20 hall renovation. And
Move for.
all right, so all right, member comments or questions on this?
Sorry.
I actually have a quick question, just because this is one where our it's 20.4. It's a I've seen time wondering. I mean, it's a lot of these that we have, but was we could have budgeted this ahead of. I don't know.
So the problem is that it's a very low number to be construction. Of out at a bit over 2 million is much as with the demolition that we had rebuilt the to make it whole. The actual cost, as you see, it's really what it was to do the job right. So I'm hopeful that we didn't have to disturb a lot of walls, floor. Unfortunately, we need to. So where the huge change. Most I think is the realm of our modernization project as far as change.
All right, thanks. Thank you. All right, anybody else? This is a resolution. This is a
Aye.
thank you. And then F, also resolution 20-22 from ag for motion and do we have any public comment? Or then we have a roll.
Aye.
6, which is resolution and resolution 20 and resolution 28-2, declaration of Dolores Huerta Day, Native American Day in June for the. So I need a motion and a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Comment?
When
You take public comment or comments.
President Batten, the board to this action, again, a commitment to our DEI initiatives, and it recognizes communities that we haven't in the past, and it's also keeping up with what we're seeing nationally, and about time, so to speak, to recognize the contributions of Cesar Chavez. Dolores worked Native American Day and Juneteenth. I want to appreciate all the folks who advocated on behalf of this, student leaders, like our current student trustee, as well as others, as well as working together with LSFA, Black, and also the Native American Faculty Staff Association. So I hope people appreciate the difficulty and challenge of incorporating 3 holidays into the academic calendar. So I want to appreciate AFA for working with us. We tried to do it as quickly as we could. So as soon as we could actually work out all the calendar dates without disrupting instruction was for the year past. But we have 3 floating holidays for employees to honor these 3 holidays. So again, I urge the board to pass this. And again, it was not just an effort of one person, it was a college-wide effort. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, any public comment? Okay, board comments? Trustee Delachey, Carmona Benson.
I'm really pleased to see this pass, with Cesar Chavez, Native American, Juneteenth. I just would like to add that it would have been super great if there was also LGBTQIA and APIA. I know that we can't always have Cat Day and Dog Day and every day, but I just feel that other groups should be acknowledged as well.
Anybody else have comments on the board before we vote? Okay, and again, this is a roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. All right, we have one more action agenda item now that we have approved the additions to the holidays. Is we can approve the 2023 to 2024 academic year calendar. So I need a motion and a second, please.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, do we have any public comment? Okay, any board member comments or questions? Yes.
I'll just speak really quickly. I just want to say how pleased I am to see this come to fruition. I know we've been talking about this at least since I've been here for the last couple of years, and I know it takes time, and I'm just really pleased and excited that we're finally doing this.
All right, anybody else? All right, we have roll call vote on F7.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, that concludes the meeting. I want to remind everybody that in October, we will be meeting on the Petaluma campus. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. And thank you to those who attended in person and those who are attending remotely. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Yay.